Hi there, everyone. Before we get started with Dr. Wayne Lesperance, I just want to recognize a very important birthday. Hoorah! Can I have a hoorah for the 250th birthday of the United States Marines? Semper Fi. Thank you, Al. We're going to get things started now with Dr. Wayne Lesperance. He's the president of New England College, as many of you probably know or just found out. New England College was actually founded for veterans post-World War II. Obviously, it's expanded their enrollment, but President Lesperance certainly is proud of the heritage of the college, and we're happy to celebrate that here today with another step forward, being designated a Purple Heart organization. So I'm also very happy to be in attendance with Governor Kelly Ayotte, Representative Maggie Goodlander, some good friends in the audience who I'm happy to see as well. But let's get things started with Dr. Wayne Lesperance.
One of the lessons I learned long ago is never follow Josh when you're going to speak, but here I am. Well, anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks all of you for being here. It is an honor to welcome you to New England College as we celebrate our designation as a Purple Heart College. Today, we join a national network of colleges and universities that honor the courage and sacrifice of America's service members, especially those who have been wounded or killed in combat. This designation reflects our gratitude and our lasting commitment to supporting veterans, service members, and their families. Our connection to the military community has been part of who we are since the beginning. New England College was founded in 1946 to serve returning World War II veterans, offering education and opportunity to those who had served our nation. Nearly 80 years later, that spirit of service and resilience continues to guide us. To our guests from the Military Order of the Purple Heart and to all our veterans and Purple Heart recipients here today, thank you. Your courage and devotion remind us of the highest ideals of duty, honor, and sacrifice. We are humbled by your presence. At New England College, we take pride in being a community that values service, leadership, and civic engagement. This recognition affirms that we will always be a place that honors and supports those who have served. I see members of our community here today who represent that service to our country, individuals who wore our country's uniform and went into harm's way. If you are here today, please join me at the podium as I call your name. Michael J. Martioski, Purple Heart recipient. Yep.
Okay, what we're going to do here as you come up, the Purple Heart recipients, I have on behalf of the National, it's a coin that can be engraved on the back with the person's name, branch of service, and the date they received their Purple Heart.
Thanks, Al. This is Al Varillas. Thanks, Al. Murray Wood from Ware, New Hampshire, grandfather of Dr. Jessica Morris, Associate Professor of Education, Purple Heart recipient. She's here. Ronald J. Beacott, grandfather of Lori Beacott, Associate Professor, Interim Director of Nursing, Purple Heart recipient. Thomas Clark Smith, Jr., grandfather of Clark Smith, NEC Board of Trustees, Purple Heart recipient. Jerry Sickles, Keene, New Hampshire, Purple Heart recipient, United States Army, 4th Infantry Division, Purple Heart recipient. Somebody very important to the Henniker community. Jean Durgan, Henniker, New Hampshire, Gold Star mother of Purple Heart recipient Sergeant Russell Durgan, United States Army. Natalie Healy, Exeter, Gold Star Mother of Purple Heart recipient Dan Healy, United States Navy SEAL. Manuela Pintado Bowling, wife of Tommy Clifford Bowling, Purple Heart recipient, United States Navy SEAL, and my dad. There are additional veterans in attendance today, including David Courier, Henniker, New Hampshire, United States Coast Guard. If you'd stand up and be recognized, David. David Tilley, Henniker, New Hampshire, United States Army. Stand and be recognized, David. Scott Brown, Rye, New Hampshire, United States Army National Guard. Paul Lloyd, Concord, New Hampshire, United States Navy. Jim Forsyth, Newport, New Hampshire, United States Marine Corps. Happy birthday, Marine. Captain Lynn Blankenbaker, United States Navy. And finally, Eugene Fox, Henniker, New Hampshire, United States Coast Guard. My friends, we are truly in the company of heroes. There are others, decorated, recognized, and appreciated. We can never do enough to honor their service, never enough. Today, we reaffirm our heritage at New England College to serve and support veterans and their families. We thank you for your service to our nation, and we are honored to be the newest member of the Purple Heart College program. It is... Thank you. It is now my pleasure to invite our friend, Josh McKelvin, back to the podium. Josh.
You got me. You got me on that one. That was good. Before we continue, obviously that was very inspiring with our speakers. I think now would be a great time for everyone to rise. As Steve Sewell, great friend of mine from VFW 8214, correct, Steve, is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please take your seats. Continuing the program now, our next guest is Naval Intelligence veteran and a friend of New England College, been here several times, and I think headed back. Thank you for sticking around, because I think you're probably going to be called back to work pretty soon. Representative Congresswoman from the 2nd District, Maggie Goodlander.
It's a real honor to be with all of you today in this place, this historic place, and I want to thank you, Mr. President, to the entire community here at New England College for bringing us together today in what is, in a sense, it's a homecoming, because the roots of this extraordinary institution, which stretch back to the Second World War, and you are living proof of what this state and this community do to rally for our veterans, and I'm grateful that you brought us together today. To each and every Purple Heart recipient in this room, I want to say to you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for keeping the faith with this great experiment. Thank you for showing us the way. All of you continue to serve our country, and that is, can we please give it up for our extraordinary Purple Heart recipients who are here today? You know, the story of the Purple Heart is as old as the story of America, as old as our republic. And when I think back at that history and how we've brought it back over time, one of the most important things that we can do in our country right now, I believe, is to remember together and to honor together the values and the people who make us who we are, who make this fragile and extraordinary experiment, this act of faith that is America, possible. And so that's why I'm honored to be here today. You know, in weaving together the Purple Heart Trail, which, Al, we're going to be recruiting you to come and live here in the state of New Hampshire. I know you cover a really big area in many states, but the Live Free or Die state, I think, really does capture the spirit behind this extraordinary honor. We see the spirit of service really everywhere you go in this state. We see it. I was at our state veterans cemetery with a group of school kids from Hill who were putting flags to honor our veterans. We see it and hear it when TAPS is played every night in that cemetery for 100 nights from Memorial Day until September 11th. And we see it in the communities, the Purple Heart communities, which this great institution is now proudly one of. From Berlin all the way down to Brookline, Litchfield to Lebanon, Amherst to Allenstown, Harrisville right here in Henniker. And we have some Henniker heroes here today. I'm grateful to you all for your service. I want to say also to our military families, no one understands and feels more deeply the basic idea that freedom is not free than you do. And I am grateful to each and every one of you for keeping the faith, for the love that you've given, and your service and sacrifice will never be forgotten. You make us who we are. You make us who we are as Americans. I want to take the spirit and the collective heroism. You said we're in a room full of heroes, and we really are. And I'm so proud to represent you in Congress. I think the sacred promise, the debt of gratitude that we owe to each and every recipient of the Purple Heart, to each and every Purple Heart family, it's a debt that we can never fully repay, but it is our honor and it's our mission to do the work to pay it forward in every way we can. And for me, that means bringing the spirit that you bring to your work to what I'm trying to do in the United States Congress, to find common ground where it is and to deliver for you. And it is the honor of my lifetime to work to do that every day. I want to thank you for everything you've done and will do and are doing in this very moment for our country. God bless you all. God bless the state of New Hampshire, the greatest state the world has ever known. And we are the land of the free because we are the home of the brave. And the brave men and women in this room are the ultimate testament to that. Happy birthday to the Marines. It was great to kick off the day celebrating 250 years. And I know that in 250 years from now, our progeny, future generations, are never going to forget and will always be grateful for your service to our country. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you for your service as well. Our next guest is someone that I've known for a long time, someone that I covered for a lot of years in a different time and place and career, but someone I'm also very honored to call a friend, and I know a lot of people in New Hampshire feel the same way. New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte.
I think it just shows how old Josh and I are. So I'm really honored to be here this afternoon. First of all, it's very much an honor to be here with Congresswoman Goodlander. Thank you for your service in the Navy. We appreciate it. And really, Dr. Lesperance, thank you for New England College's commitments to our veterans. As the doctor mentioned, this college has an amazing history. As you think about it, after World War II and since then, this institution has very much embraced our men and women in uniform, and they've made it a priority, to recognize and honor those who serve. And in New Hampshire, we take great pride and tremendous care in honoring the brave men and women who served our nation. And to have a college like this here who does that wholeheartedly is really such a phenomenal thing, and we're really proud of that you've done that. And I want to thank also the chairman of your board, Lex Scourby, for the board's commitment to this as well, and supporting these efforts for the college to receive this distinction, and to join really a national network of institutions that honor our servicemen who were wounded or killed in action defending our nation. We owe our, number one, our veterans a debt that we can never repay, but in particular, those who have been injured or those who have given their lives. They really have made such a tremendous sacrifice. So to every Gold Star family, first of all, here, I know that there are Gold Star families. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you with gratitude for the sacrifice that your family member has made for us, because it is really only on the sacrifice of our Gold Star families that we are here today in this beautiful college, living in freedom in the greatest country on earth. So our thoughts are with you, our prayers are with you, and we will never forget the sacrifice of your loved one, and we will continue to honor them. And likewise, the sacrifice of those who have received the Purple Heart, who have been injured for defending our nation, have gone into battle and fought for us, and have taken the injuries of war from that. Thank you for what you have done for us. It takes a tremendous amount of courage. It takes a tremendous amount of really compassion towards others to serve, but also just please know, we know that it's very difficult to live with the wounds of war, and we are there for you. We have your backs because you have always had ours. And so we honor you today, and we thank you for what you have done for us, and we will not forget your sacrifice. There are many veterans who are here today, and I know they've been recognized. I want to thank each and every one of you for what you have done for our nation. As I think about the greatness of our country, it is really our veterans that are what make this country great, because every generation has stepped up to defend the ideals of America, our Constitution, our way of life, our freedom. And in fact, now as we stand here today, it's less than 1% of the population that is defending the freedom of the rest of us. So while today we honor our veterans who are here, let's also remember those who are serving in faraway places and pray that they come home safely and that they know that we are grateful for all that they are doing. And has been mentioned, I've been at several events today in honor of the 250th birthday of our Marine Corps. And of course, Josh didn't mention it, but Josh is a great Marine, and I know there are other Marines in the room. And I came across a quote that Ronald Reagan actually gave about the Marines, which I thought really very much summed up our Marines. You know, some people wonder all their lives if they have made a difference. The Marines don't have that problem. And that really exemplifies the Marine that I am honored to introduce today. He is a Purple Heart recipient, Michael J. Martioski. He served 2 tours of duty in Iraq during the War on Terror, and during his second tour in 2004, he was severely wounded, and Mike's bravery and grit helped him fight through a long recovery. But as Mike will tell you, no Marine fights alone. Mike had great organizations on his side, like the Homeland Heroes Foundation and Wounded Warrior Project, and I know many in this room have supported Mike's journey. Now he has given back, like a true Marine, always faithful, semper fidelis. He spends his time volunteering and raising funds to help important organizations like the ones I named and others who serve our veterans. In fact, he has a powerlifting competition, I've heard, next month just to do that. So in case you're wondering how hard he's worked to fight back in his recovery, like no one's gonna mess with him in this powerlifting competition, trust me. Mike, you are a patriot and an inspiration to all of us. I wanna thank you for your service and your sacrifice. And now I'm very honored to introduce you and thank you for what you have done for our nation.
Holy cow, that is a lot to follow. First, let's get one thing out of the way. There is a powerlifting competition. It is next month. It is on the 6th, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The funds that are raised are going to go to Homeland Heroes Foundation and Warriors at 45 North, two fantastic groups who have personally been there in my corner when I've needed them. I've leaned on them, and they've been very helpful to me and my family. I want to thank Governor Ayotte for that remarkable introduction. I thought she was just going to say hello, but holy cow. And everybody else here who has spoken before me, I want to say thanks a whole bunch, because you see on these cards here, I've got a whole speech, but you guys managed to take everything I was going to say in front of me. So I do have a few notes. Thank you, New England College. Thank you to your staff. Dr. Les Brantz, did I say that right? Thank you. And thank you to everybody who's here in the crowd today. Your presence and support speaks to the love that you have not only for your veterans, but for your Purple Heart community, and your understanding of what it means to wear this medal, as it's one that you can't really earn without earning. If you don't have it, it's kind of hard to explain that, but it can never really be won. You know, you get it the hard way. I was telling Congresswoman Goodlander that there are people in this room that I'm not even fit to carry their jock, pardon the language, but there's really no other way to say it. There are some folks here that I don't believe that I should be even tying their shoes. So for those of you, thank you. Everybody here will understand that Marines are cocky and Marines are full of themselves. But what people don't understand is Marines are also humble and understand our place. And when we're put in a room full of people like yourselves, we have nothing but gratitude. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for everything that was said and your enormous outpouring of support. I was going to open with a joke. Unfortunately, my sense of humor is not exactly palatable. So instead, I will open with an anecdote. Whenever you see two Marines walking somewhere, regardless of where they're going, one of them is always in charge. The same can be said for really any branch of the military. Two soldiers, airmen, seamen, Coast Guardsmen. I love my puddle jumpers. And hopefully Space Force individuals. I don't know how to address them. I apologize. But in lieu of a joke, I want to ask a question. When you hear the words Purple Heart, how does it make you feel as a supporting person, as a family member, a loved one, and as a recipient? I think we all have different ideas of what that medal means to us. So for those of you who didn't catch my name is Mike Martioski. From 2000 to 2004, I served as a member of 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, with 2 tours of duty in Iraq. I don't normally talk about how I earned my Purple Heart, but given the company I'm in, I find it appropriate. I will keep it PG because the wonderful disparity of our crowd here. But basically, it was a hearts and minds mission. We were riding down a road to interact with the local population, and a roadside IED struck my vehicle. On that day, nobody was killed, but myself and a few others took some shrapnel to the shoulder. I took shrapnel to the shoulder, to the head, and I ended up with a traumatic brain injury. And there are some lingering issues. Actually, not too long ago, I had some shrapnel removed from my skull. That day, nobody died. That day. It is a real honor to be aboard a campus like this. Started as an institution for combat veterans returning from World War II, and with the introduction of the newly formed GI Bill, a lot of wonderful people decided that these veterans needed some direction, wanted to learn, and they answered that call. I don't know how many people know this, but the Purple Heart Medal is the nation's oldest medal. It was introduced by George Washington in 1782. It was originally called the Badge of Military Merit, and it was originally only awarded to 3 people: Sergeant Daniel Bissell, Sergeant William Brown, Sergeant Elijah Churchill. After that, it remained unused and ignored until 150 years later, when it was reintroduced with the inscription for military merit, and it's written on the back. Its current configuration and application was approved, and since it has been approved, there are almost 2 million recipients. Almost 2 million people, living or past, have earned this medal the hard way. I didn't have any intention to let that number hang in the air, but I thought it was important. Anyway, what better way to remember all recipients than by placing a marker at an institute of higher learning and in a community that loves its veterans so much. The Purple Heart Medal and the men and women who receive it are remembered because of actions like these and because of caring people like all of you who ensure that even though not every name is known or remembered, the blood and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Our flag moves not because of the wind, but because of the last breath of every person who gave their life for this great nation. I am honored to be amongst them, and it is my privilege to wear some of the same decorations as them. I had more to say, but I really, that's going to be it. I think if I keep going, you may see a little bit too much emotion. So, thank you all. I appreciate it.
Wow. Still want to hear the joke at one point. Okay. To officially accept the proclamation that is going to make New England College a Purple Heart institution, I'd like to introduce another friend, and that is the chairman of the Board of Trustees for New England College, Lex Scourby.
Well, thank you all for being here, and I want to extend my sincerest welcome and thanks to all the veterans from the full Board of Trustees on this very historic moment today, so thank you. The proclamation. Whereas New England College, located in Henniker, New Hampshire, has a great admiration and the utmost gratitude and respect for all men and women who have and are selflessly serving their country and this community in the armed forces, and whereas veterans have paid the high price of freedom by leaving their families and communities and placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who serve the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas many men and women in uniform have given their lives while serving in the armed forces. Whereas citizens of this country have received the Purple Heart Medal as a result of being wounded while engaged in combat with an enemy force, construed as a singularly meritorious act of essential service. And whereas New England College seeks to remember and recognize veterans who are recipients of the Purple Heart, and whereas that August 7th is nationally recognized as Purple Heart Day, and therefore be it resolved that New England College, located in Henniker, New Hampshire, to be proclaimed a Purple Heart College, honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men and women in uniform, wounded or killed by the enemy while serving to protect our freedoms. Now, therefore, I, Lex Scourby, by virtue of the authority vested in me as chairman of the Board of Trustees of New England College, do hereby proclaim New England College a Purple Heart entity in recognition of our community's Purple Heart Medal recipients. And now I'd like to introduce Al Varellis.
We have, it's great to be here today. At being a Marine, I gave up going to Philadelphia. I was supposed to, but at the last minute, I decided this was most important, more important than a birthday party. For the Marines that are here, boardroom later, we got crayons and coloring books. That's Marines understand that one. With the college here, I understand was the first college right after World War II that offered the new GI Bill at the time. So I wanted to do something special for the college. When you drive around your cities and towns, you see Purple Heart City, Purple Heart Town, Purple Heart Trail. That's what we do. We also do ROTC, junior ROTC leadership. The signs, when I thought about it, I didn't want it to have it the same sign as what we use on the road sign. So I designed a sign especially for the college. You'll be the only one to have it. With the, go ahead. I've been working with Sky quite a bit. Evidently, the college, we're going one step further too, whether it be right now, if you have any combat wounded veterans attending the school or in the future, whatever, or guests that visit, we have these for your parking lot. Hopefully we're the only organization that was chartered by Congress 1952 to represent combat wounded veterans and Gold Star families. Now the medal itself, my fellow Marine there, George Washington actually designed the very first one, and he wanted it for valor and being wounded for his troops. So he took and designed, it was a purple piece of cloth that he had seamstress or whatever cut out in the shape of a heart. It said merit, the badge of merit. In 50, I think it was 52, that what you see as Purple Heart today, on the middle of the sign there, Douglas MacArthur was the first one to receive it. Now, Purple Heart, we were chartered as a holiday on August 7th. You don't get the day off, but August 7th nationally is Purple Heart Day. Medal of Honor, March 27th. So you have two holidays there. Now, the Purple Heart has its own museum in Newburgh, New York. The first three that were given out, General George Washington gave out the first two badge of merits to two of his troops in Newburgh. Now, then he traveled from New York to Springfield, Mass. I don't know if anybody's been to the Springfield Armory in Springfield. It's a National Historical Site. Washington had stopped in Springfield on his way to Boston, and that's where the third one was awarded. That original one is in the museum in Newburgh. Let's see. I can skip parts that you covered there. But I'm commander for Military Order of the Purple Heart, basically for the Northeast region. I cover Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. I'm also commander or adjutant for Region 1, which is Maine to Virginia, 13 states. For the Marines that are here, 250th birthday today. They're rebuilding the original Tun Tavern, burnt down in 17-something, and that's where the Continental Marines were founded. I'm commander for the militia, for the Tun Tavern militia, one of the commanders. And we're raising $25 million to rebuild it. Right now, we're just approaching, as of last week, $12 million. And we have an anonymous donor that we can't give the name out, former Marine, is semi-committed for $20 million to get it built. I'm like him. You go so far and it gets you. So the Purple Heart, the requirements for it were changed because of Iraq and Afghanistan, the first Gulf War. I don't mean to say requirements, but what happens is that these aren't just handed out. It has to be a medical doctor has to do it, and then they're submitted for it. Number one, the military soldiers not killed in action, the families get the Purple Heart posthumously for them. If you're wounded in action against an enemy aggression, it's awarded. They added wounded caused by friendly fire during enemy engagement. Now, I spent 3 years in Vietnam with the Marines, and they had many times the bombing runs hit our own troops, unfortunately. But what was added also, concussion type of injuries, which you're collecting on. Concussion type of injuries caused by enemy-generated explosives, plus the hidden wounds from IEDs, which comes about because of Iraq and Afghanistan. Sadly to say, people wanted out of Vietnam so they'd shoot themselves in the foot or something. It went on, I saw, and we had one guy in our unit that thought it was funny. We didn't think it was funny. You do not get a Purple Heart for that, and you're looking, he ended up getting a general discharge because of what he did. Let's see. Now we have Marine Corps. We got the Marines here. There's a Marine that has 9 Purple Hearts. He was in World War II. He was wounded 5 times in World War II. Got out of the service. When Korea came about, he went back into the Marines up the Chosin Reservoir, and he got wounded 4 more times. And the man lived. Let's see. You said you brought it up, 1.8 million Purple Heart recipients. Now, the reason for purple was, I did some research on it, and why was it purple? It was determined that the color purple was chosen to symbolize courage and bravery. Purple has historical ties to royalty and nobility, which further emphasized the honor of the medal. So the Purple Heart recipients here, remember, outside. But I'm getting to the point like you did, you can read so much. But it means a lot to me. It was more important for me to show up today here than go to Philadelphia. But I'd like to welcome, on behalf of the National Purple Heart in Springfield, Virginia, welcome to the Purple Heart family.
Thank you, Al. I'd like to thank everyone who turned out today, especially our veterans, our Purple Heart recipients, Honorable Kelly Ayotte and Maggie Goodlander. Of course, Mike, amazing speech, Dr. Lesbrance, Lex, and Al, thank you very much for everything that you shared today. Obviously, this means a lot to you, means a lot to the college, our heritage, and everybody in New Hampshire who served. So if this doesn't remind you what tomorrow is all about, I don't know what's going to, but enjoy your Veterans Day, and let's not forget. Thanks very much for joining.